Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics / Non-Classics. This is episode 195 and Doubleshot number 129. I should let you all know that I'm using a different program to do these videos. I'm using Windows Movie Maker to make these videos now. Yes, I have webcam videos. Yeah, and I'm sorry it's been a little while since I did a lot of that video, but I had to find something. But yeah, I found something to do with my videos now. Since, in fact, YouTube shut down its webcam uploads. I don't know why. It just did. Oh yeah, because I deal with Twitch. And that was like 12 days ago. Alright. First up, it's Superman Mon-El Volume 1. And the book is written by James, the issues are written by James Robertson. And the artwork is done by... artwork is done by Renu Gantz, Jesus Mourinho, Pablo Remina, Javier Pina, and Pierre Perez. Those are the guys who do the artwork in here. But there is a bonus story in here. Who is Clark Kent's big brother? Written by Jeff Johns and Richard Donner, the guy who directed the first two Superman movies. And this book contains that very story. Superman's book has from Action Comics and number 10. Superman number 684 to 690. Action Comics number 874, and Superman Secret Files 2009 number 1. That is just basically just a profile exactly about the Guardian and Mon-El. Yeah, the Guardian is sort of a supporting character in this particular storyline, and this is actually one of two books. And when this book ends, from the book point of view, it continues in the pages of part of the Codename Patriot crossover. Now, simply put, they put the Superman's Big Brother first. It's basically, in a way, a new kind of origin story for Mon-El, and apparently how he gets exposed to lead is quite different than it was during the Silver Age. In the Silver Age, he actually tried to kill Superman, and here the thing was that these fake kryptonite rocks were actually laced with lead. Yes, when they were exposed, he got sort of lead poisoning. Yeah, because his people are actually poison. Lead is poisonous. And by the way, his real name is Largrad, even though his name is Mon-El. Yeah. How it happens here is that Clark shows him a lead box that happens to have kryptonite in it, but somehow this makes Mon-El sick, and he has to head to the Phantom Zone. That's the only way to stop from killing him. But yeah, and that particular story does tie into what goes on with this particular thing. And then somehow the Phantom Zone is being destroyed. Somehow, like, a whole bunch of people were released from the Phantom Zone, and even General Zod, who was actually a prisoner for years since the destruction of the original planet Krypton, he was sent there. But Superman went to confront his aunt about this, who was the ruler of New Krypton. And here's the thing. Despite all the evil things General Zod did, she pardoned him and gave him command of the Kryptonian military forces. I am not kidding. And she also liberated Fiora and Nan. Fiora, who happens to be the mother of Superman's adopted son, Chris Kent, and the lover, possible wife, of General Zod. Nan is just his bodyguard. And of course, a lot of stuff in here does help what goes set up and what goes on in World New Krypton. And what about Mon-El? Mon-El takes a position up in the Science Police Forces, which one of his branches have been headquartered in Metropolis. Brilliant stroke of genius by part of the writers bringing it to the 21st century. And he takes up an actual alias. He can't go by Largrad. Like when he's not Mon-El, he's... Y'all are gonna love this. His alias is Jonathan Kent. And by the way, from Superman's perspective, when he first seen the book, this is like not long after. I would say, well, basically, first see Superman here. He's visiting the grave of his adoptive father, Jonathan Kent, who had passed away during the events of Superman Brainiac. Really awesome story. Recommend it. So he takes up the code name. He takes the alias of Jonathan Kent because no one's using it now, and the guy who actually was the real Jonathan Kent passed away. And of course, is kind of a love interest with Guardian's. I think it's his niece. Yeah, I think it's his niece. The Guardian's in here. He's written really well. I like the fact that James Robinson put the Guardian here as a supporting character. Now, the Guardian, those who don't know, he's a Jack Kirby creation from the Golden Age of comics. And one thing James Robinson is known for doing is taking Golden Age characters and sort of remaking and writing them really well. This is probably the reason why Marvel hired him to write the all-new Invader series. Too bad the series got canceled in 15 issues. Go figure. And I don't want to get into a rant about the cancellation of that series. That was a really awesome series. This is awesome too. The Action Comics issue that's in here just basically just set up for this particular storyline that goes on the page of Superman. This goes on until, even though it starts in issue 684 for Superman, this wraps up in Superman number 698. That's where the storyline officially ends, because right after that, it's the Last Stand to Krypton storyline. The Last Stand to Krypton. And now, basically, Mon-El is the starring character of Superman at this point in time. Superman is not. Superman is off-planet, being the star of the Superman World in the Krypton series. So, what are they going to do with Action Comics and Superman? Well, they gave Action Comics to Nightwing and Flamebird, who actually are some woman that with basically the Nightwing and Flamebird, and Superman is taken over by Mon-El, with Guardian as supporting character. Really good. Here's some artwork for this one. This is really good artwork, and that's what the Science Police headquarters looks like. Yes. He even works for them too. That's basically his job, and because this has got great writing, I definitely recommend this to anybody who is a Superman fan, much less anybody who's a fan of the League of Superheroes. Here's one of its members. Because that's what he's normally associated with. He's associated with the Superman line of books. He's associated with Superman and the League of Superheroes. A little more League of Superheroes than he does with Superman. Basically, why does he have the hand of his own? And how is he still alive? Well, there was a magic cure. But apparently his powers are affecting his cure, so he's got 18 months to live. I wonder how this play out in the next book. It's a really enjoyable book to read. I definitely recommend it to anybody who's a longtime Superman fan. Even if you're not a fan of the Krypton story, you might actually enjoy this very book. And I give this book a 9 out of 10. Really good book. The next book is one of the books that came out with the Heroic Age that started up in 2010. Which only lasted for a few months, and then the brand name just disappeared. Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine. A 6-issue miniseries written by Jason Aaron and artwork by Andy Kubert. Here's a sample of the artwork. One thing I should mention before I get to the story, this is one of 3 miniseries I have seen since I started reading comics back in 2004 that has undergone delays. It took nearly a year to come out with these 6 issues. I don't know why, but as far as I know at this point in time, I was reading comics at the time. The only other books that Jason Aaron was running at this point were just Wolverine, and I believe he was wrapping up his work for Ghost Rider as well. But otherwise, though, he wasn't really writing that many series at this point. This is probably like one of the series this is probably like the second series he's writing Wolverine on. Oh, I also mentioned the first issue, along with the cover of this book, is a gatefold cover. Not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with gatefold covers. It's just too bad Marvel doesn't use them that much anymore. I really wish they continue using these. I know they use them mainly for first issue covers, but yeah, it's really good. It's a really neat idea. The only other series I've seen since I started reading comics that basically have suffered through delays that are miniseries are the Spider-Man Black Cat Even Men Do miniseries, which is done by Kevin Smith. It's a really good miniseries, but it's suffered through delays. The only other stuff I've seen been published by Marvel that suffered through delays It has been the Kick-Ass stuff, and of course the recent Secret Wars series. Yeah. And I know Marvel has trouble also with having their ongoing books come out on time. As a matter of fact, there have been three as of recently that have suffered through delays. Karnak is suffering through delay right now because issue 2 came out. Excuse me. It's coming out in a couple weeks, while the first issue came out this past October. And the only couple series I've seen this for is Astonishing X-Men and what was the other book? Oh yes, Hawkeye. But like this, really good title, despite suffering through delays. Now, I think the reason why they did this, they did this miniseries, is because Astonishing X-Men was the top-selling title, despite the fact it was suffering through delays. That's the only thing I can think of when it comes to that. Now, on to the story for this one. This one is just simply Spider-Man and Wolverine, where they unexpectedly end up in the past, and they go through different time periods, stuff like that. It doesn't really affect the Marvel Universe as a whole. It doesn't affect these two guys' respective titles, which at this point, it's just... For Spider-Man, it's just Amazing Spider-Man at this point in time, because he's only got one main ongoing series. And of course, you have Wolverine, who's in his own solo title, and he's in Kenny X-Men. Yeah. Plus, there's the first appearance. There's a particular gun that's used in here. Mojo appears in here. There's this gun called the Phoenix gun. Appears on one of the covers. Let's see. Yeah, the gun itself is not really used that much in here. It's used maybe a couple times. I'm trying to find a picture of it. I know I've seen it here. Yeah, it's a gun that basically features, let's see here. It's a gun that fires Phoenix, essence of the Phoenix Force. Plus, you also have appearance in here by Orb. Yeah, the guy who was one of the villains of Original Sin. A Z-list villain who's also a Ghost Rider villain. And interesting little fact, Jason Aaron is the guy who created this version of the Orb because he's shown up during Ghost Rider Volume 6. So, you have a character in here who makes his first appearance outside of Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider had ended just prior to this particular series coming out, and you have his first appearance as a very comic. Plus, Dog Logan shows up in here too. Yes, those that are familiar with Dog Logan showed up in Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men, right after the whole Murder Circus storyline. But now, some people might think Jason Aaron has done more hits than misses, but this series was good. I definitely recommend it to anybody who's a fan of either one of these two characters, or anybody who's a fan of Jason Aaron. It's only 6 issues long. It's a really dang good miniseries. Let's see. I'm trying to think who else shows up in here. Let's see. You also have, you have a few other appearances. I mean, it's a great team-up miniseries between the two of them. And yeah, just them traveling through time. Stuff like that. Yeah. Like the Crusades, dinosaurs, stuff like that. Oh, I should also mention, I forgot. Look at this. There's even fold-out pages in this dang book. I'm not kidding. A fold-out page. And just to remind you, Forever Evil did the same exact thing. Now, I don't have necessarily a really big opinion about photo pages. I don't have a problem with it because it allows an artist to basically draw a really big picture without having like multiple pages to tell the story. This is one thing I don't like about the Forever Evil graphic novel. It doesn't have that full, big, humongous page spread of pretty much most of the DC supervillains who are appearing in that universe at that point. Yeah, this book does have it, and this book is only. You want to hold how old this book is? This book was released in 2011. This book is only 5 years old. Yeah, a 5-year-old book, and it's in pretty decent condition for a 5-year-old book. I mean, yes, the plastics that was coming off, The pages are surprisingly not dog-eared, and there's a crease in the cover of this book, but it doesn't dissuade you from the enjoyment of this particular book. Now, this is from the library, so it's expected they have these plastic covers on the book, like dust covers. But if you find any regular graphic novel in a store, they don't have these plastic things on them, unless, of course, they're wrapped in plastic. The library is the only one I've ever actually seen do this. I think they did this probably not only to prevent dust, but to keep the cover in good condition. I mean, artistically wise, the cover looks great. So, recommendation for anybody, X-Men or Spider-Man fan, or simply even a Wolverine fan might enjoy this, or even possibly just an Aaron fan. So, I give this book a 9 out of 10. Okay? Alright. Stay tuned for the next episode, which hopefully will be episode 196 and Doubleshot number 130. Until then, see you there. Bye.